Hi guys, welcome back to Reddit Reader's Digest. Today we're doing friendship stories. Very exciting, you know?
Yeah, moving on from family.
As we're friends, so we can talk about
Yeah,
this.
that's true. We have our own stories, probably.
Actually, no, it's just for the cameras. We hate each other in real life.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. This is a purely professional relationship.
Yeah. And so I hate him and he sucks dick and goodbye, I'm ending the podcast.
Okay, goodbye. Fun while it lasted.
It
Wow.
was fun. But our first story comes from it's a cross post on r slash am I the devil? We'll find out, I guess. But I 25 male might have destroyed my friendship with my friend 25 male over a stupid comment I made at his wedding. And so it comes from someone the cross posted it from r slash relationship advice, and I love that subreddit. It's one of my favorite ones because it's people just asking for help, and so you could get the most crazy people, you know.
Sure, we've had good luck with that subreddit so far.
But let me get straight to the story. I,
Let's do it.
25 male, became friends with Noah, 25 male, sophomore year of high school. We became pretty much inseparable and did everything together. After high school, we both graduated to the same college where we became roommates. Noah met Cleo, 24 female, at a party our junior year, and they started dating. They got engaged last July and had a huge wedding on Saturday with around 200 guests. The ceremony and venue was beautiful, and I couldn't be happier for them. The reception was great, and I had a lot of fun drinking, talking to friends, and seeing my buddy happy. After a while, it was time to give speeches, and Noah's dad gave a beautiful speech. Everyone got teary, and I could see how happy Noah was. I was kind of tipsy and thought that I should go next, so I went up after him and took the microphone. For some background info, Cleo is a black woman.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Going. I'm not that's
And in parentheses, will be important later.
oh,
Who,
come on.
dude,
This is gonna
okay,
be
who
bad.
grew up in the rough part of our area with a single mom. Noah comes from a family with money and has always dated women in the same social class. Cleo is insanely beautiful, and there's no doubt that Noah loves her. In the beginning of their relationship, I used to tease him about dating a gold digger, and when we'd first seen Cleo at the party, Noah kept staring at her, and I, parentheses, thinking she was the one of the strippers hired for the party. I told him and some other friends that we should get a lap dance from her. It was all just jokes, and no one never seemed to take offense to it. Back to the wedding, my speech started off good and everyone was smiling and laughing. This is the part where I might have ruined the friendship. I made a joke about how we thought she was a stripper when we first met her. I also made a stupid comment about how Noah used to date only girls with money, but won't but I won't go into detail about that. I got some awkward laughs, but it was mostly quiet. I tried saying it with another terrible joke and finished my speech with this toast is to getting out of the hood and into a rich guy's pants. People laughed and I thought I had saved it. Noah later pulled me aside and saying I embarrassed Cleo and made it seem like he was marrying some cheap hooker. He also called me a racist for my comment about getting out of the hood and saying he only used to date girls with money and class. Parentheses, which he took as me saying white women. I have been friends with Noah for 10 years, and I don't want to throw away our friendship over a stupid comment I made when drunk. I want to text him and explain myself, but my girlfriend told me to give them space? Question mark. Should I go to Noah's place? Question mark. I feel like it will be better if we talk face to face.
Crazy.
Wow.
Man, those were some really degrading comments and jokes he made. And it was
Yeah.
also very much like a self-report kind of thing.
Yeah, no, it's
It's kind of
definitely like
everybody.
it's definitely a guy, like, I feel like maybe is there, like, some resentment here or something? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, the fact that that was, like, a whole like, he admitted that he used to joke about that, like, that even back then, that's a very
I mean,
inappropriate, degrading joke.
I get kind of being drunk and stuff and, like, maybe doing you're bad at, like, jokes and you're, like, publicly scared, but this just seems, like, weird because I would never in a million years do this shit, like, when Isaac, when I met your wife at first, I thought she was a fucking bitch and she would kill you, but you're together now. I would never say something like that, even if I thought it, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I mean, being drunk is not an excuse, right? It doesn't justify it. Um,
Yeah,
like, what those comments made are very I mean, those were, like, pretty, like, outright offensive. Like,
yeah.
I don't know how he's gonna be able to recover that, honestly.
Yeah, no, it seems like because, like, I get, like, maybe if they actually found it funny, it would, like, be okay, but they clearly didn't, and a lot of people clearly didn't since there were only, like he says, quiet laughs from a few people, you know?
Mhm.
And so
Yeah, I mean,
it's
it's just yeah, I don't know. It's an embarrassing joke to make, it's at the expense
my
of Cleo
issue is
almost
that
exclusively.
yeah, my issue is that he continually seeing that it's not working, he continually makes more
I know.
jokes. That's the worst part, Isaac.
Yeah, and it's not playful enough to be and teasy enough to be a joke. It's too, like it's too much, like, about punching down. People say, like, you shouldn't punch down when you make jokes.
Yeah,
That's like punching down because 'cause you're making fun of them for, like,
yeah,
a joke about them being poor
yeah,
in front of all
and
these rich people, you know?
yeah, he also really, like, downplays it, you know? Like, he said, like,
Yeah,
I only made, like, a comment or 2, you know? It's not that bad." When you say something, pretty fucking vile, like, insinuating that they're only together because of a gold digger sort of mentality here, and so
yeah,
I f
yeah,
saying something
and I mean
like, "This is to getting out of the hood and into a rich guy's pants," like, what possesses you to say that?
yeah, you're no right to make that joke. If she wanted to make that joke or somebody, maybe that would be okay, but, like, that is, even if it was a joke, right, and she knows that she's not, like, a gold digger or whatever, it's still just, like, a very inappropriate joke to make.
Yeah, and like Isaac, I don't see a way this can always like maybe in like some I definitely agree with his girlfriend to give them space because like this is a
Yeah,
bit weird. And this might be a friendship that just might break after this, like not like some sort of big way, just like after this joke it kind of just fizzles out. And
mhm,
that might be the sad reality, or you have to like either profusely apologize, but it's always going to be some weird tension there, you know?
I agree. Yeah, and obviously the friend who's, married Cleo, like, he needs it's his responsibility as her husband to stand up for her,
Yeah.
right? And that joke was at her expense. So, I mean, it might be for her sake, because I doubt she will be able to
Yeah,
yeah, I
like
don't know, like, that's a really hard thing to forgive.
yeah, because like then if your husband just like okays that, it's really weird and it's gonna lead to strain in their relationship too. Because like you're essentially you're being with a guy who's you're friends with a guy who you're letting it be okay that you're friends with a guy who's a racist, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah, and, like, yeah, so he doesn't respect her. It seems like he needs to if he's gonna apologize to anybody, it needs to be to Cleo, like, directly.
yeah,
Because what apology does he owe friend? Like, he
yeah,
didn't really insult his
yeah.
friend.
I
He
mean, he
mostly
kind of does by insinuating that he
he doesn't
only
respect
dates
her.
like rich women and
That's true,
parentheses white women. But
but the
yeah,
real joke is at the expense of Cleo.
the
That's
top
or the
comment The top comment with 1.1 upvotes, 1.1 thousand
okay,
upvotes. I just got 1.1.
1.1 upvotes.
1.1 upvotes. At their wedding, you couldn't have been a trashy racist the week before, so they could have uninvited you and spared themselves the humiliation. Holy shit, your girlfriend must be so proud. Yeah.
It's yeah, I wonder what the girl like, that was,
Yeah, because, like, something I'm not
next level.
seeing is that, this makes the wedding kind of awkward, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, and everybody there, I mean, that's it kinda I mean, honestly, he didn't I'm not gonna say he ruined the wedding, but, like,
it's a sore spot.
That would've yeah, everything that came after that would've been really awkward,
And
it seems like.
I think he feels very highly of himself because he said, "I thought I had saved it," you know?
Mhm.
But say something like,
Likewise, I mean, he finished it off with, like, such a blatantly offensive, like,
"Bro, you did not save it. You
statement.
made it 1,000 times worse."
That's true. That was even he just built up, built up, built up. It was he really dug himself into it. Man. Yeah, this he's racist and
Yeah.
degrading. That
Um, let's see. I'm not seeing a lot of comments from the OP. He does do, as far as I'm seeing, he does do one response to one of the commenters, okay? Someone said, "Leave them alone to enjoy their honeymoon phase. Do not make this about you. Do not take up any more time during the happiest moments of their relationship. Wait a few days and send a card. Noah will reach back to you to respond if and when him and his new wife decide it's appropriate. Absolutely do not show up on their doorstep. I repeat, do not go over there unannounced." And then he replies to that with a comment that's 245 downvotes. Thanks. I'll leave them alone and will only talk to them if they make it clear that they want to. I definitely don't want to fuck things up more than it already did. And I don't know why that got 245 downvotes because it seems kind of repentant, but it seems like maybe he's
yeah.
still a bit of an asshole about it.
And maybe people are just angry at him, like, no matter what, which, I mean, I understand. But
Yeah.
that commenter seems to be take a little bit of a more forgiving approach, but also, like, it's pragmatic, right? And
Yeah.
I think that he's kind of right on about that. Like, you don't wanna force it or anything. Like, realistically, if you actually wanna get forgiveness for those offensive statements, like, yes, I don't know, sending a letter and then letting them
Yeah.
reach you at their own pace,
Yeah. Definitely
whether they do or not, they're not inclined to, but
yeah, definitely space.
oh, yeah, yeah, and don't expect anything. Just leave a heartfelt apology, understanding how you messed up, and then just wait. But
Um, and so the OP deleted their account, or the account was deleted somehow. And yeah, so essentially throughout the comments, they're just a sentiment of like, why were you even doing this? Like, are you even supposed to like make a speech, dude? Like, come on. And it definitely comes from like some sort of racist place because that you do this thing where I'm kind of reading that it's like he's implying that you're like one of the good black people, right? Isn't that kind of what he's implying or something?
yeah, oh, yeah, I don't know, something like that. Or even just I mean, it's yeah, he's not in any place to
Yeah, and it's like
make jokes
it.
about the group as a whole.
I think you're really nailing on the head where he's like self-reporting on himself.
Yeah, like, getting drunk was not an excuse for what you say, that stuff didn't come from nowhere,
Yeah,
and then that coming out, like, everybody knows that, like, you have some pretty messed up, um, racist and
yeah.
misogynist, probably.
And so I really don't see any path where it's not going to have some weird tension
Yeah.
between the two or the three,
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I mean, he really did
which
mess
really
up.
sucks because they are kind of inseparable. Because like they said, they were friends since high school and they were roommates in college. That's
Yeah, that's
crazy.
crazy. They sound like really close friends.
I could
Like,
never. I don't see anyone I could ever probably do that with.
yeah,
So
and that
it's crazy that
somebody
that's happened.
yeah, that's serious. Like,
Because a friendship you carry on from high school is kind of like a pretty strong relationship, especially if you go to the same college, which not many high school friends do.
true. That's like a real, like, rare kind of
And so to see this fuck up so bad, it kind of it hurts me.
I know, but it's just like the comment doesn't seem like a little slip up. It seems
Yeah,
like something that really reflects something about him.
yeah,
Even though he does obviously seem to
yeah.
have
He
other
yeah he really told him himself when he said from background info she is a black woman. That's when you kind of hit the nail in the coffin there. Like, why does that need to be important? Oh, it's because you're a racist.
yeah, yeah, or yeah, I guess he's just trying to make people know that why his comments were interpreted that way. But, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, he seems to have a pretty messed up view of things like that, even as a
Yeah. Um, well, I think that's all we have to say for that story.
I don't yeah, it was a doozy. It's crazy.
But let's go back to r slash am I the asshole? And someone said 236 days ago, which I don't know when that is, probably a long time ago.
Mhm.
Um, am I the asshole for saying I told you so to my obese friend?
Okay. That is just not enough to go up in that title. But I imagine it'll have something to do with, obesity, I guess.
Damn. Well, my 26 female friend, Natalie, 25 female, is obese. Not morbidly, but she's around 180 pounds at 5'4". That's obese in a concerning way. Usually, I let people live their lives, but this is my best friend, and I want the best for her health. I've asked her to join the gym with me multiple times, but she always says no to hang out with her boyfriend. She's complacent because her boyfriend is an attractive man who has muscles and all that jazz. I don't know how he became attracted to her, but I'm worried she will think she can be fat all the time and not have to worry about her weight. Over the months, it's becoming worrying because I see her eating more bread and pasta. Here's where I may be the asshole. We were both hanging out at the park near the mall, and Natalie was joking around with her boyfriend. They both started running across the park until Nat got tired and tripped. They were both like, oops, but I took the opportunity to say, haha, this is why I told you so. Exercise is more, is exercise more than you don't trip and fall. Then you won't trip and fall. I meant to say it as a joke, but Natalie said she's had enough of my comments, cussed me out, and called me an asshole. Her boyfriend called me one too. I don't understand. But anyway, we went back to the mall with them both giving me the cold shoulder. How am I wrong for wanting my friend to be healthy? Am I the asshole?
Yeah, I would say yeah.
Yeah? You
I
she's
yeah.
yeah?
Yeah, I don't think I think her whole attitude and the way she talks about it is just, like, kinda messed up. She like, I feel like in a situation like this, ideally, like, you just kind of like, constantly it's not really her place to be, like, judging her and criticizing her for her weight all the time. And then, like, being like, "How did I don't even know how she even got a boyfriend." She seems to have so much, like, weird resentment towards that or something.
Yeah, no, there's definitely some like I think definitely some resentment or something like, maybe like she thinks so highly of herself that she doesn't want like her
Yeah.
friend like to be associated. She likes her friend, but she doesn't want like someone fat to be associated with her or something like in her perspective, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, she definitely seems to have, like, the very messed up view of weight, like, fat phobic, is what the term people would use, right? That, like,
Yeah.
she seems to deem her friend as, like,
Yeah. And like
less than because of her weight.
180 pounds at 5'4" is not like that bad. It's like it's
Mm,
overweight, but it's not like terrible, you know? It's like I wouldn't say that's concerning, in my opinion.
yeah, I mean, again, and that's for her and her doctor to figure out,
Yeah.
right?
And
That's the main thing with kind of things. It's like, you're her friend, like, I mean, I'm sure she know if she's any weight problems, I'm sure she knows about them.
yeah,
And her doctor, she has a doctor, it's not really her place to make
yeah.
comments about that.
And comments are fucking like destroying her. You're the asshole, you know?
Yeah,
Like someone said you're the asshole just for that line about I don't know how he became attracted to
yeah.
Nat, although never mind the rest of it. And that's just
It's
so
just mean.
telling, you know? Like,
Yeah. Okay, like, you're friends for her beyond just her being attractive or, like, skinny, right? Like, you're friends with her because you like her as a person, and you can't see that, like,
someone
her
else might
boyfriend
like
likes
her
her as a
as a
person
person,
beyond
you
that.
know? Yeah.
Yeah, she has, like, this insanely shallow view of things like that, it seems.
Yeah. And I feel like if she continues with this sort of attitude, she might lose Nat as a friend, you know?
Yeah, I agree, and that's what it seems like in this situation, she got fed up with it because it was, like, a constant thing. She was getting these dumb little micro comments about her weight all the time,
Yeah.
and that was really annoying.
This is like r slash am I the X, but for like friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Just you're saying these really she's your friend, but you're saying like these kind of mean things like she's complacent. You're worried because you're seeing her eat bread and pasta.
Yeah, how like, she's, like, hyper obsessing over it.
Yeah,
Like, you gotta, like, chill and just, like, let her live her life.
yeah, because I can't imagine caring about what my friends are eating. I could never imagine Isaac, stop eating
Yeah.
your fucking calzones all over the place.
I've noticed a lot of calzones
I
recently.
know
You
lots of
really gotta watch
calzones, and I think I want you being fat next to me. So
and then no, yeah, and I mean, I've had a lot I've dealt with, like, a lot of weight stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, and you don't need people, like,
dragging you
there
down.
just yeah, I mean, it's just judgmental and, like, it's not really benefit helpful at all. Even if you think it's I think she just has a really messed up, like, view of that kind of thing, of eating and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe it could. I don't want to diagnose anyone, but do you think there's any maybe
Yeah,
projection of her own
I'm sure. I mean, I don't
reflection?
want her, like
Oh,
or maybe the way she was raised or something.
yeah, it's like maybe she. I don't want to say I not saying maybe she has an eating thing with herself. I don't know, and that she's just saying it on a girlfriend because she's insecure.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
on her
yeah.
friend.
Yeah, it seems like her view about it, I'm sure, goes to herself as well. That's usually what, like, that fat phobia is, right? It's, like,
Yeah,
internalized.
and
Uh,
I don't know. It could also be this thing maybe maybe she's insecure. 'Cause maybe I don't know if she has a boyfriend herself, but maybe she's she doesn't have a boyfriend. And she's seeing this couple, and she said this can't be. It's it's gonna break obviously because she's a bit
yeah.
heavier.
Yeah, it, like, breaks the, like, shallow worldview that she's, like, built her life, like, that she sees the world through. Um,
And
yeah.
yeah, and I feel like maybe she's just it could be she's very kind of lonely, and so she's just gonna try to fixate on this one thing to help herself, but it's not just ruining the relationship, and it's gonna spread them further apart.
Yeah, yeah, she needs to figure this out soon, otherwise, yeah, the relationships I mean, she needs to, like, go out there, apologize to her friend, and, admit that what you have been doing is super inappropriate, and then change, right?
Yeah.
Stop bringing it up and stop making it your business.
Yeah. I say it really only really becomes concerning when it's fucking Brendan Fraser in The Whale.
Yeah, or when but at that point, it's like, the doctor should be involved,
Yeah. And it's not
and
your issue.
if they're doing it to, like they're, like, seriously messed up, you can bring it up to them in a nice way, but I'm sure they already know, though, too. You can support them if they have their own desires to work on it, you can help them, but bringing it up like, it's about, like, bringing lifting people up and not, putting them down, right? Like, if your friend deals with their weight and they come up to you and say they're gonna try to lose weight, and you can be supportive of them and encourage them,
Yeah. And
like
I think this comment's pretty nailing it on the head. You're the asshole. Sounds like you're just jealous because you think he's hot and don't understand why he's dating a fat chick when he could be dating you. I generally don't get why Natalie ever wanted to be friends with you.
yeah, yeah, she does sound it sounds very vain. Very
You're so vain. You're so vain. But yeah, and I just feel bad, and I'm gonna say this. You definitely are the asshole.
oh, yeah.
But if you do some serious self reflection, I c see, and, apologize to her and, stop caring about what she's doing. I could see, a past because it's n it's nothing too bad where it's, it's one incident of giving the cold shoulder, and, if you, just look on yourself, and this is definitely a you thing, and you stop looking at that, you could repair this, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. It's very much
And,
yeah.
yeah,
It requires serious self-reflection into why you see the world like
yeah.
this. Well,
But there's definitely a scenario where this person she gets so wrapped up in this sort of mentality that she can't just stop this concept brewing in her mind, and she's always gonna think Natalie's so fucking fat, she needs to get thinner, and why did her boyfriend is gonna leave her? He's gonna leave her because he why would he be with such a fat idiot or something like that?
yeah,
I could definitely see
and just
that
reflect
sort of sort of cementing in her brain.
yeah, she's too stubborn about it and doesn't figure that out about herself soon. So we'll see. I doubt Natalie will take much more of that.
Yeah, because like it's gonna if because you continue in this path, Natalie is gonna break up with you in your friendship.
Mhm. Yeah, especially because she has a supportive boyfriend who's there to, like,
Yeah, because like it's not
stand
like
up for her
the
and stuff.
boyfriend hasn't done anything to like insinuate that he doesn't like Natalie the way she is, you know?
No, yeah, and if anything, I mean, he's like what we heard from that story, he defended her against OP and stuff, which is great. So I imagine that behind the scenes, he's like, I can't imagine that they're reflecting on the OP with very much kindness. I mean, because she's so mean. I don't know.
And so that's the only post on the OP's account. So, and she doesn't respond to the comment. So I feel like she just wanted to be validated with her own opinion, and she
Yeah,
didn't actually want to see if she's the asshole.
yeah, you're probably right. I mean, we'll see. I guess maybe she saw. What if she saw these comments and then like
Yeah,
somehow became super self-reflective and decided to change? But we have no evidence of that, so
yeah.
it's hard to say.
Well, that's that post. And next story.
Mm, okay.
So this story comes from r slash am I overreacting? A little different,
It,
you know?
I don't know if I read many things on that subreddit.
And so,
What's the story?
yeah. 145 days ago, someone said, I told my friend I don't want to be around her husband anymore, and now it has ruined our friendship.
I can see that happening. Like,
I, 32 female, have had this friend, 29 female, of 8 plus years, and she has had the same partner, 33 male, throughout our entire relationship friendship. I have had several uncomfortable and inappropriate interactions with her husband, and so have other women within our group of friends. Some list or examples are getting drunk, telling us how hot we are, making comments such as, if I wasn't with my current wife, I would be all up on you. All of us are either married or in committed relationships, in parentheses, confessing his feelings towards another friend on more than one occasion, getting caught by his wife jerking off to my sister's adult content Twitter posts, telling our group of friends when his wife is out of town for business that he's not getting enough attention, and then explaining that he could get anyone and how good looking he is, only texts me and my girlfriends when his wife is out of town to hang out, but never tries to hang out with us when she is here. Not only of all of these inappropriate behaviors, he is also insufferable to be around because he is one of those people who talks at you, asks you nothing about yourself, and rattles off all the things going on in their life in a bragging manner and tries to constantly one up you. And this especially happens with other men, such as our partners. Oh, not to mention, several years ago, before I knew this friend of mine, another friend of mine of 14 years when we were in high school at a party with this man, my current friend's husband, was trying to coerce her into having sex with him and locking her in a bathroom and not letting her
God,
leave until she finally started screaming for someone to come to her. And that is when he stopped. The list continues, but this is already getting ridiculously long. LOL. And that's a third
that's
of the
crazy.
story. Damn, this guy is a villain.
Yeah, like diabolical, like a very yeah, just a very gross person.
Yeah,
I'm curious what the friend even sees in him. Like, why is she even still with him?
yeah. No, it's like, does she like not hear about this? Or is like is she totally blind?
Yeah, yeah. Or maybe he's kind of like emotionally like
Because
manipulative person. I don't know.
I'm barely in the story, and like you are not overreacting.
No, he sounds like a really dangerous person to be around. And I mean, just so far, like
As for that
just to
last
kind of
one, that
yeah,
about you try to coerce a high schooler into having sex with you, and you won't let her leave.
yeah, that's like evil criminal stuff.
We thought because it had been several years later and we adore and love our friend and wanted to give her husband the benefit of the doubt that he has improved as a person, but his current actions have displayed inappropriate, predatorial question mark behaviors. One night, while his wife was out of town during the Super Bowl, there was a party, and he had confessed his love once again to one of our friends, starting an argument with me for not wanting to go to some terrible music event while his wife was out of town with it. While his wife was out of town with him a few days prior, speaking terribly of his wife, saying they are getting divorced, trying to get everyone to go to the strip club with him and not tell his wife, and then making out with one of our fake male gay friends when he was incoherently drunk. To say the least, this night was our final straw for me and several others within our friend group. I invited said friend over to my house to calmly and privately let her know how inappropriate and uncomfortable her husband's actions are, and I personally am setting up a boundary that I will not tolerate this behavior any longer and choosing to not be around him anymore. Soon after this, a couple of other friends had made this decision as well. I knew fully well how this could hurt and affect our friend and change future events to an extent, but we have put up with with husband's behaviors for years to protect our friendship. We have told her in the past that he's a creep, annoying, etc., but she always brushes it off like just tell him to fuck off or you know he just loves you. When this was brought to her attention in a serious manner, she just wasn't surprised, but ultimately didn't show much emotion, which made me confused. I chalked it up to that it is obviously something very tough to process. But as time has gone on and multiple conversations have come out, she has spun the narrative back on us, saying things like how saying now that you have exiled him from our friend group, I am now exiled. Thinking this was some sort of ploy to get her to leave him and how we could have all possibly thought we could stay close after this thing, how we could all stay close after this. Also, he's made comments such as, well, did he touch any of you guys? Everyone is treating him like he's a serial rapist. What have you said about him is very hurtful towards him and me. I absolutely understand that this is her partner of years and standing by their side in a hard situation, but I truly did not think that myself and my other friends standing up for ourselves and informing her of his behavior would have resulted in her not wanting us not wanting us in her life anymore. I've always been her friend, not her husband's. I feel totally invalidated and hurt that someone I viewed as a lifelong friend can't see where I'm coming from. And I've even said the best case scenario is if he works on his mental health, addresses and takes responsibility for his actions, and we can all spend time together one day in the future. What should I do? Am I in the wrong in any type of way? Some time has passed, and I thought a few weeks to be able to process things would have helped, hopefully, given her insight to herself and the other woman reasoning behind this decision, and insight to myself and the other women reasoning behind this decision to not hang out with her husband, but her mindset is still in the same place. And that's the end of the post. And so it's a very long post. It's like the OP kind of just rants a lot, and like the comments are. She's This is a very long post. It's a much of a rant story, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's a serious thing that I'm sure she has a lot of thoughts on. But yeah, I don't know. It seems to me like she's definitely not overreacting.
No,
Um,
no,
and that yeah, this is she did everything I think that she should do, right?
yeah,
Talking to the wife personally and bringing up all the things the husband has done, like as a serious thing, like making sure she knows everything. It's great. But it's weird and kind of concerning that she hasn't like really like processed that or not like that it doesn't phase her much. That's a little concerning to me.
yeah,
Um, so I think keeping that boundaries is great. Like obviously don't hang out with him if that means not hanging out with her as a result. That's fine. I think it's probably best for them to check in on her and keep bringing it up to her over the years, just so maybe eventually something will click or you'll be there to help her. Um, I don't know, I worry, I mean, I hope she's, like, good not in danger, but because this guy sounds, like, really bad.
Yeah, it feels like maybe she's not reacting because she's been so brainwashed by this guy. Because like this
Yeah.
guy seems like a manipulator, a gaslighter, like a very like predatory type of person. And
Mhm.
it feels like maybe he's gotten her to live so like ingrained like in their life that she's so not even phased by
Yeah,
the relationship at that
for
point. Because
sure.
like oftentimes you see in sort of abusive relationships is like the guy has like um or like any not the guy or the person the abuser has tricked the other person into thinking they're like so right all the time. It's almost like a cult type of thing where it's like they've been brainwashed
Yeah,
into thinking they're always right and like like you guys are lying or something like that. And it's so hard to
mhm.
break out of this pattern, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and that's where I think the best thing to do is to cut ties with the guy for sure, but then be supporting and reaching out to, the wife a lot, just because I think it's probably best that she has somebody there to, like, help her think rationally about it and make sure she's safe as well.
Yeah, because you know, I think it's definitely you need to probably set up that boundary, but you gotta like you still should probably check in because like this feels like a clear sign of some sort of abusive relationship, and you gotta check in on your friend, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and the more I think about it, I don't know if it's safe to cut ties with both of them
Yeah,
completely, because I mean,
because like
obviously this woman just doesn't
yeah, because this guy seems
mean it to
fucking
be a bad person.
scary.
She's super caught up in it. Yeah,
This
I
guy seems
agree.
scary. Like feels like if once he hears about this breaking apart, he might like go on a rampage or something. Not like he might be very violent towards the friend group, and like he might like just like
Yeah.
commonly harass them or stalk them, you know?
Mhm. No, and yeah, I don't think it's good for the wife to be, like, isolated with this creepy husband. Like,
Like
she needs to have people from the outside supporting her.
and like
But
even though man, he works on his mental health. This is like I even if he does,
no,
it won't work. You know, this that
that's too optimistic.
like that would never happen because like I feel like you there's a point where it's like you can work on your mental health, but like there's a point where you do like terrible things that you can't. It doesn't even matter if you fix her and like try to do it. There's no coming back from. And like when he said like he when we were at a high school party, he locked a woman into like a bathroom with him and won't let her leave. That's unforgivable to me. You know.
Yeah, or I mean, even if okay, I guess ideal situation, he changes, just less people hurt, you know? But it's still that's very optimistic, and she still shouldn't be married to anybody. Like, if he's gonna have that process, he needs to do it when he's alone and not posing a threat to, like, a partner or whoever.
Yeah. And you are definitely not wrong in any of the place. You and your friends but it's like, okay, saying this is not some sort of manipulating relationship that like the husband, which I don't even need like I'm for 100% sure this is some sort of manipulative relationship and abusive
Yeah,
relationship.
and that, like, that she's not safe,
And
or that she's rationally
but
processing.
like how could you not like see that your husband's doing this shit like so aggressively? And like, do the friends like
Mhm.
just not talk about it that much? Because it seems like they do, but like are they not saying the extent of it? Because like because in response to the comment, she would comment, the wife, when she's being told this, like, well, did he touch any of you guys? Everyone is treating him like he's a serial rapist. What have you said about him that is very hurtful towards him and me? And like, as this person's know, I get that sort of closeness being with each other, and there's definitely some sort of like ideal. You gotta protect your partner and your like romantic partner, but this like, do you just not see it? Like, but because this is like straight up villainy, Isaac, straight up villainy.
Right. Yeah, yeah. It's like she's been conditioned to think this is normal, and she's just brushing it she like, the bar is so low, she expects so little, it's like, she needs to get some help she needs help getting out of that relationship and that mindset, probably.
Top comment, your friend is not an idiot. She knows she's married to a straight up loser. But when you guys call it out, she's forced to confront the reality and she doesn't like that because then it makes her feel like she actually has to do something about it. You really need to reevaluate this friendship and see if it's actually worth keeping because from what it sounds like, she's perfectly okay with putting her friends in uncomfortable situations only to gaslight them later when they express their very real concerns. That's not a real friend, hun. And she should be exiled because she's enabling sexual harassment by not only staying with this asshole, but by bringing him around you. I say cut them both loose and give it a year. With some space and perspective, you probably will find your life is better without both of them.
Yeah, I think that the balance obviously, this guy is, like besides being a danger to his wife, he's being a danger to his friends
Yeah.
too. So, definitely cutting ties with him as much as you deem necessary is great. Um, but again, I do think maybe
There,
if you have some way of, like, at least checking in on her, maybe not, like, hanging out never hanging out with her if the husband is there, but, kind of
because okay, I do get this sort of argument like okay, maybe she's just oblivious and like she's not in to her it's just he's just kind of a straight up loser, he's not manipulative, and like she knows and she doesn't just give a fuck, and maybe she's like sociopathic herself or something. But I see a real case of this sort of being abusive relationship, you know?
yeah, I mean, we're not experts, but I kind of agree. I mean, it's whatever it is, like, she needs somebody to help, like
It doesn't I don't personally I don't think like she knows the extent of this. And I feel like she is just like sort of so warped. I don't think she knows, you know?
mhm, yeah, are in a lot of denial. But again, the friends are perfectly justified in OP cutting off the husband. And I mean, yeah, I would say the friend as well, but also like, if they can't help their friend get out of that, if she really means a lot to them, and I mean, that's good. But maybe they can't do it without putting themselves in danger too. I don't really know.
Yeah, and it's a very sad scenario. It's like you definitely I don't know, check up on your friend. You are not in the wrong in any type of way.
Yeah,
You know, I hope she sort of gets this sort of insight, but I don't know, being with this guy, it very might be difficult, and you have to maybe try be really have an honest conversation. I know you had a conversation, but like maybe have like this is a bit much, but maybe like a sort of intervention for your friend.
yeah. Well, I mean, it seems like that's what you tried to have, but maybe like with more people, I think that's maybe with
I
more
feel like with
people
more
or
people, it's like you.
that doesn't seems like it's not really working
I
though.
know,
And in that case, it be
but it's
there.
like with
But
more people, I feel like it's hard. You need to confront the reality more, because more people are saying it's not just like one person you can like brush off.
yeah, yeah, I would say, yeah, doing an intervention with a lot of people might be a good idea if they're comfortable doing that. And if that doesn't work, yeah, I guess you gotta do what you gotta do for your own safety and comfort. Um,
Yeah.
but keep an eye on
And I
her
don't want to
too. Maybe they
excuse
can
the wife by any means,
no,
She's
she
saying
has
these pretty awful things like, "Well, did he touch any of you guys?" Everyone is
yeah,
treating him like
she's
he's a
no she
serial
like,
rapist.
yeah, and it's not just her, like, her friends are being, like their lives like, their safety is
Yeah. And no
compromised when they're around her husband, and she has some responsibility in that, like, bringing her husband around these people who are being hurt by him is she's hurting them
Yeah, it's like no
as a
one wants to
result.
be with this fucking creepy ass. Like it's really
No.
awful when you have to like be with this like hang out with a creepy ass person that just doesn't respect you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and you shouldn't feel, like, obliged to hang out with her if that means hanging out with him too, um,
Um
or at all obliged to obligations.
there was a term earlier in the post that she says our take male gay friend. I'm looking what that is, if that's anything.
Uh, cake, you said?
Take, you know?
Cake?
Take. Does that mean anything?
I don't know.
With our maybe she meant taken?
Oh, that's probably she probably meant that, yeah, I just forgot the "and."
There's
Like,
a
some
lot of like all caps in the story.
I see.
Comments are
Some
like
typo.
comments are pretty against the the wife and like they're really saying this sort of concept that she's just ignoring it, which definitely is the case. But like I don't want to go so hard on her. She says awful things, but I don't want to go so hard because it could be a very harsh situation, you know.
Yeah, yeah, being married to somebody like that, I don't know.
It could
That's why,
change your
yeah.
brain chemistry, you know?
Yeah, no, and I worry about, like, her safety and everything, which is in that case, I think just checking in on her and stuff is
Yeah, and,
great.
I don't know, maybe we're not seeing this, like, maybe she's enabling him and, like, she's just as bad, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it can be both too. It's a complicated situation. She takes some personal responsibility in that, but also, we don't really know what's going on in her head.
Um, yeah, and, there's nothing really left, there's no updates on this story, but, it's like, it's a very sad situation, and I definitely space and, like,
Yeah,
at
it's
least
scary
check
situation.
in, and if you see she's still, like, a vile attitude, towards you, I would consider just dropping this friendship.
Yeah, yeah.
Just like
But I guess, yeah, checking in just for for her
just like
safety is
maybe
important,
every like
if you
if
can.
it but the thing is at one point if he just continues the vile attitude, you're gonna have to maybe drop it, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I mean, especially if it's compromising your own
Yeah.
safety and well-being. I don't know. It's difficult.
Um Next story.
Dude, that was a great, like, a
Yeah, that one's a bit of a darker one.
yeah.
On r slash am I the asshole 1 year ago, someone said, am I the asshole for snapping at my friend who keeps ditching me because now I have a child?
Mm.
What do you think from this story?
And it's one of the ones where, like, these relationships are changing as, like, families are changing. Like, I think, like, kids can be a very
Yeah.
can make friendships a little harder, but I don't know. Let's the
Just
details.
over 2 years ago, I, female 29, unexpectedly got pregnant and now have a beautiful 18-month-old daughter, the Kiara. Over that time, my friend circle got considerably smaller, but my best friend remained, Mia, female 31. Mia doesn't have any kids, nor wants kids, but she's been brilliant with Kiara. I'm a stay at home mom and obviously don't have as much time to hang out as I did previously. Me and I live on the same street. We're in Manchester, England, and it's a walking distance between our houses. I've told Mia numerous times that she can just pop in whenever she wants. Parentheses, she works from home. But she rarely does. She did at the beginning, but it's been happening less and less. Instead, she keeps suggesting that we go out for coffee or pizza or even a drink, but I don't have the time and always just tell her to come over and we'll have coffee at my place. She asked if I wanted to go out with her and her friends for a drink last weekend, but I said that no, but she's welcome to come over and we'll have a few drinks at mine. She said she already had plans and it felt weird to drink when she knows there's a child around. Honestly, I feel neglected. I feel like she's put me on a back burner and does not want to be friends with me anymore. I'm always available, but she rarely comes over, and I don't think that's fair. Today, I saw her photos from Saturday night, and I was fuming. She ditched me just so she could go out and drink like she's 20 again. I felt rejected and horrible. I thought we were best friends, but clearly she doesn't value me when she won't even have a few drinks at my house. When she finished work, she called and asked if I fancied going for coffee to town, but I asked her to come over again. She said yes, but before she disconnected, I heard her mumble like always. I heard her mumble like always. This really annoyed me. She's When she came over, I decided to be open about everything. And while not my proudest or most mature moment, I shouted at her that she's an awful friend and that she barely comes over, and if she doesn't want to spend time with me, to just say it and stop playing around. She said she's always been accommodating, but it's been 2 years and she doesn't want to spend time with me when there's always a kid, especially now when she has to watch her language. Mia likes to swear. I said that she knew I had a child and responsibilities, and she said that Tom, my partner, could take care of Kiara once in a while so I could have time off. This felt really intrusive, and I told her to mind her own business and not meddle on my marriage. I was really angry with her and kicked her out. She called me a selfish asshole on the way out. Normally, I would expect her to call by now with an apology, but she hasn't done so, and I'm starting to wonder if I was the asshole or was she. Perhaps I was too harsh and should have been more careful with discussing it. God, you are the asshole.
Crazy. It's crazy how she's so, like, blinded by it, like, she can't even see it when it's so like, she writes just writing the situation is so obvious that, like, her friend is, like, going out of her way to try to spend time with her.
Yeah,
And, like, she's writing exactly how she sees it, and she's just seeing it like that, it's like, it's right there. But then she still says, like, "Oh, you obviously don't wanna spend time with me," even though, like, she's always the one who asks, "Wanna get coffee? Wanna get drinks?"
yeah. And like,
You know?
it's incredibly valid. Okay, I get it. When you have a child, it probably becomes the most important factor of your world ever, you know? I get that.
Yeah,
I 100% get that. Like your life changes forever.
of course.
But you
Mm, yeah.
still should keep like oh, fine, you don't need to keep like in charge of like 25 friends, but this is your like one best friend, you know? Your one
Mhm.
best friend, and that you are not being neglected. You are actually neglecting her. Because like why would I want to spend all the time at your house where you could always be preoccupied by your child? And I get wanting to be with your child, but as she said, your partner could take care of him like for a bit while you guys go hang out. Because like who
Yeah,
always wants to go hang out at a house all the time? Like that's not very fun. Like
I
want to
agree,
go
yeah.
out.
It's very, obviously, things aren't gonna be the same after you had a child, but if you really cared about this friendship, it's like both parties have a responsibility to be accommodating and, like, to compromise. So and her friend seems willing to do that. She's willing to go to her house, which makes sense. Some of these hangouts are gonna have to be at her house, that makes sense. But then she can't, if she wants to continue this friendship, she needs to put something into it as well and, like, agree to go out every once in a while. I mean, she never said why she can't have her husband or her
Yeah,
partner,
because like
watch the child, or get a babysitter or something. I know that's another family member. I don't know.
yeah, because like the partner can definitely take care of the child. I don't care what anyone says. He might work a lot or something, and she's a stay-at-home mom, as she said. But like he can definitely take at least once in a month, dude.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it doesn't have to be very often. I'm sure her friend understands that. Like, it's not like she's gonna be able to go out every weekend for drinks or whatever.
And I
But,
get,
like,
but then
every once in a while,
yeah.
just
But this is what she really fucking loses me, Isaac. Okay, you said no to like what going out on Saturday, but you
mhm,
said no, and she's like, then you want you guys to come over to your house on Saturday night, and she says like, I don't really feel like that. But then you get offended when she posts photos like you are neglected.
yeah.
That's when she like
What do you
loses me. Like she's fucking tone deaf.
Yeah, okay. So she goes out of her way to invite her to this. So obviously she wants to spend time with her. She wants her there. She can't, and she says she already had these plans with other friends too. So she can't just be like, sorry, or I'm not going out with you guys to drink. I'm just gonna go to my friend's house. Like, that'd be selfish or that'd be rude. So I mean, I don't know. And then after that, she invited her to coffee. And she's like not neglecting her at all. She's like thinking about her. It just seems like, yeah, this kind of one-sided. One of them is expecting to be extremely OP is expecting to be accommodated for completely 100% of the time,
Yeah.
but not willing to, like, compromise and accommodate her friend as well.
Yeah, and like, and then she's lost me at this point, but she puts the nail in the coffin. I've been using that term a lot today, nail in the coffin. But
Yeah.
you shouted at her that she's an awful friend, bruh. You're the awful
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah, she's being, yeah, very entitled. I mean, kind of entitled and not really putting the same amount of effort into this friendship as she needs to, which is obviously harder with a child. But, if it really matters to you, you should try.
And if maybe I feel like something like what if she's like kind of like I don't know. She said it's not really something I'm picking, but maybe like she's offended that like Mia's not having a kid as well, and she's like maybe jealous of the lifestyle that Mia
Yeah,
is
it
kind of
could
having, and like You that's
Cold
definitely
time.
that's it could be a scenario, and like you always so because you're jealous, you want her just to come to your house, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, and I do think it's like, okay, if you're not ever able to go out of your house to hang out with her, whatever, but then don't be, like, upset at her
Yeah,
for not
don't be
always
upset at
going to your
her.
house. Like, you have a right to be like, I'm never able to go out with you. I'm sorry. If you wanna hang out, you can come here." But then you can't get mad at her for going out every once in a while without you. You know?
And yeah,
Like, you can't get your have your cake and
and
eat it too.
and then when she actually does come to your house, you fucking like yell at her instead of just
Yeah,
having a nice conversation.
yeah, she's putting in the time to hang out with you because she cares about you, and then you say, "Do you even wanna," like, yeah, she's being so
And then you
selfish.
have the fucking gall, the audacity to expect her to call with an apology to you.
I know, I'm like, "May
She has
I
been
started to think maybe I was wrong." It's like, yeah, maybe.
this is if there's ever been one, this is an "Am I the X" friendship.
Yeah, yeah, something would need to change very quick. I mean, I think they could recover it though because 'cause they're friends for so long.
Yeah,
I
but
do.
it's
I just
like
think she needs to get self-reflection and start putting in that effort, or at least explaining to her friend that she messed
I
up.
think she definitely thought when she posted her story that she was right, and
Yeah, except she obviously has some hesitancy, but she's definitely still sees it through her perspective.
yeah, and like at least she's saying maybe might be the asshole, but come on, it's like you are like so like being mean and like rude and like
Yeah,
I get I
expecting
get having a child like changes your life, but come on. You can still have time for friends, you know?
yeah, yeah, she's being unjustifiably critical, just like
Yeah, it's like I'm just like it just like boggles the mind how you could be like, I saw her photos from Saturday night and I was fuming. She dissed me. You didn't no, she did not ditch you. She did not ditch you.
no. She made plans to go out that night
And she
with
called you.
friends,
She called you.
and she invited you. You said, and you asked her to drastically change the night to hang out with her only, and she said, I'm not maybe next time, like, I'm not willing to do that."
And
And that was perfectly reasonable.
I get being human emotion is not rational at all. I get you can be so irrational in your human emotion. I get that.
That's true, yeah.
But like, come on. Can you at least be self-aware?
Yeah, yeah, and I realize sooner that your mindset is wrong about this. What
Yeah.
are the comments saying?
And she's like starting to do that, but she's still like, perhaps I was
The
too harsh. What do you mean you were too harsh? You were
Yeah,
definitely
that's to put it lightly.
yeah. You should like, there could have been like a positive scenario where it's like you talk about it because like it's like okay, I feel offended that you got offended at her posting photos of Saturday night, but that's still to yourself. But when you really break this when you yell at her for doing it, it's like you can
Mhm.
have your own thoughts about anything, wherever you want, anytime. But when you bring it, you make it into a real thing, to other people.
Yeah,
And
sure.
she called you a selfish asshole on the way out because you were.
Yeah,
And
yeah, you're
you
that's
definitely
true.
could have talked about this with her in a positive light, like saying but you in this is like a hypothetical conversation. I would say I recognize that we only spend time here, and I want to still be with your friend. But you have to make a compromise, like, okay, we'll hang out like 75% of the time. For all the hangouts we do, 75% of the time at the house, we'll just hang out, a conversation, and then like every once in a while, for like the 25% of the rest of the hangouts, we can go out. Like, Tom can watch the partner, and that's what I think Mia is recognizing, but I don't think
Yeah,
the OP is recognizing.
yeah, yeah, it seems like they need to have a productive conversation about, like, what they're capable of and then provide solutions. Try to work towards solutions to keep the friendship strong. But the failure to communicate and the failure to just the critique and the judgmentalness is, uh, not gonna work.
And here's like this is like she says, "This felt really intrusive, and I told her to mind her own business and not meddle on my marriage." What do you mean, mind her own business? This is part of the problem.
Yeah, well, then
It's
then
become her
trying to think
business.
of solutions.
Yeah,
I mean, it's I don't know.
I don't know,
Like,
Isaac. If
It's
you had
just
a
an
kid,
idea.
if you had a kid, I would not want to spend all my time at your house with your kid.
No, it's about yeah, I mean, it's about finding a balance, like, if you but, yeah, obviously, that's, like, not something you can't expect that every time.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe you can expect that, but don't get mad at her if
yeah.
she's not willing to do that.
It's just not like it's fine that you like having. It's fine. She's being respectful of like her daughter Kiara. She's not being mean or
Mhm.
anything. She respects that, but it's like not for her, and like she doesn't always want to be around kids, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, yeah, I agree, and, I mean, if for some reason she was in this situation where she literally had no other option but stay in the house at all the time to watch her child, maybe that'd be a little different,
Yeah, like
but
maybe
I
if
agree, is that
like the
really the
child had
case?
to
Is there
support her,
nobody that yeah, or, like, she was completely alone or something.
but you're not. You have a
But
partner.
but we yeah, assuming that there's some I imagine maybe she would have mentioned that if that was true, but, I mean, assuming that there's some sort of something she could do.
Yeah. Um, and
I don't know,
comments.
or at least, yeah, not be so judgmental and critical.
Yeah, OP does not reply to the comments at all.
Okay.
Um,
Are they generally
Top comment, 74,000 upvotes. You're the asshole. She didn't ditch you. She asked you to go out with her friends as she made plans. She she's not drinking like she's 20. She's drinking like someone who doesn't have a child. P.S. She's right. Your partner can look after your daughter once in a while and should to try to and bond with her. Yeah.
the
One parent should have like some time alone with their child by themselves.
yeah, I agree, one-on-one time,
Yeah.
part of the development and all that.
You like my
I
glasses?
like yeah, I got the spectacles,
Like Harry Potter.
the Harry Potter glasses.
These aren't prescription. I have perfect vision, by the way.
Of course, you got the what's it called, 20/20 vision or whatever.
All the comments are just like, "You're the asshole. You're the asshole. Why can't Tom take care of the baby?" She invited
Although
you to come and hang out with her friends, and she already committed to going out with other people. If she had to come to yours for drinks, she would have been ditching her other friends. Yeah, like imagine this, Isaac. Imagine this. Guys, we can go out to a bar and drink and have fun, but we can go to my friend's house who has a child.
ooh, that's exciting. And I don't even know if, like, the other friends were even invited. Would it have been a one-on-one thing?
Yeah, because then
In that case, yeah, you'd be leaving all of those friends you made plans with, so
yeah, and you also, what the hell? You're allowed to just hang out with other people. You don't have to hang out with your best friend.
yeah, yeah. She's being I don't know, yeah,
I
it's a
know.
little idle or selfish of her to think like
Yeah,
that.
maybe we're not saying something because we don't have children, Isaac. I
That's
think.
true.
I hope.
I'm
But
not yet.
I don't know. I'm just like not
Maybe she
seeing
needs
this.
yeah,
I'm not seeing.
maybe I don't know. She's emotional about it or something, I don't know.
Maybe she's just very emotional. But come on.
Or it's like a tricky issue, but either way, she needs to self-reflect and, realize that she needs to put more into the friendship.
And you gotta do some self reflect, and like I just hope this is not you guys aren't broken up, but it feels like it might be.
Yeah, I hope so as well. I hope she, just comes to some again, like I just said, but it's hard to say for sure just based off of this.
Well, that's that story. And I think we're going to go to our final story of the night or day. Actually, it's day. You can see the light. Um, yeah. Let's see.
What's the last one?
Trying to find. Am I the asshole? So our next and final story comes from. Am I the asshole? Um,
It's
what?
back to the basics.
Yeah. Sorry. You muted out for a second. I'll just start again. Um, our next story comes from r/. Am I the asshole, Isaac?
Okay,
Back
go
back to the basics.
back to the basics of
So 1 year ago, it's not that long of a story, but um, 1 year ago, someone said, "Am I the asshole for yelling at my friend?" So it's very simple, but sometimes the most simple like titles are the craziest stories.
True. We don't know, I mean, all the lore that might lie behind that.
Hey
We'll
Reddit,
find out.
I feel like I'm justified in this, but based on a few arguments with friends, I figured I'd post here. That's a good sign of someone who's like very, who's very like, who really wants to know. I figured I'm right, but
Yeah. Or maybe it could be a sign of something that is kind of a complicated situation.
me and my friends all go to the same college, and we're all in the same group chat together. We all have a kind of edgy sense of humor, and we
Oh
end up
god.
towing the line or making jokes at the expense of other people quite a bit. More often than not, these are jokes that end up using slurs or other language that's
Oh
deemed
my god.
offensive today. For context's sake, I should mention that none of us are black or gay, but we say the N or F's pretty often.
I'm sorry, it's not funny, but, like, admitting that, like, right off of the bat, crazy. I stop reporting it immediately.
Self-reporting immediately.
Yeah. Let's hear though.
One guy in the group has a history of telling us off for making jokes like these. One time last year, one of our group members made a joke about his girlfriend that got him on his period or whatever, and he left the group chat.
Dang, this guy sounds like a
We talked with him about it, and his big issue was that he felt like we were bad people for cursing like that in our group chat. We told him we'd stop out of respect for him, and we did, and he came back and joined the group. We've all been hanging out together since, but I guess we fell back into the habit of making jokes like that again. The one guy continued to tell us to stop and say that it was wrong for us to use language like that. But it felt kind of playful, like he didn't really mean it, so we brushed it off. Well, I guess it was less playful because he reported us to the faculty of the school we go
oh,
to. We all
that's
had to have our meetings with somebody from the Office of Discipline. We felt really hurt and betrayed by our so called friend. We basically got him in a room and asked him why he felt the need to report us, and he tried to deny it, but then said that he wished he did report us because the language we used and the jokes we made were sickening. This is where I kind of lost my temper and started yelling. I told him that he was way out of line for reporting us to the office, that he was a snake for it. I have a scholarship and a job offer, and he literally gambled it all over something as little as a few curse words or dark jokes. Jokes about his girlfriend. He told me that he knew we weren't really joking and that we deserved what we got. We're still in college, we have our whole lives ahead of us. It isn't fair of him to risk my scholarship and my future career over a few mistakes we made when we were kids. We haven't talked to him since. We're basically his only friends, so nobody knows that he's been up to. I was complaining about the whole situation to a friend from high school when said that I was an ass for yelling, that I should have just stayed calm about it. So, am I the asshole? TLDR, friend reported us over a joke. I yelled at him for it. Am I the asshole? Wow. And he says what's interesting is that they he OP says he reported it, but then he says he tried to deny it, but then said he wished he did report us because the language we used were sickening. So did he or did he
that's
not
like
report them?
I don't know. I think it's implied. They kind of just suspect he did, but we don't know. Technically, we don't know for sure.
Well, let's go with the sort of continuity that the OP thinks that he did report them. Okay.
Okay,
Um. Yeah, you are the fucking asshole, dude.
I agree. I'm just gonna say, okay. First of all, the way he talks about he that he's able to explain that none of us are black, none of us are gay, but we regularly say slurs
That's
as a
such a
part of our humor,
crazy.
and then act like that's just normal and like not something that you need to like change. That's actually crazy. I mean, yeah, he seems to like this OP seems to have like very little sense of self responsibility, like
Yeah.
and kind of entitlement in that aspect. He says like, "Oh, I have a scholarship. I have a all my job in line. Why would you do this to me?" But it's like, I mean, you're
And
by
I'm
saying
not.
slurs and stuff, it's like you're
Yeah.
putting all that on the line anyways, kind of.
And I'm not gonna pretend like I'm like some sort of saint who doesn't like. I never said like these slurs like constantly in a group, but you definitely there's in middle school and like high school. There's definitely these like Isaac. You definitely hear these jokes in your friend groups, right? You
Yeah,
definitely,
people, I mean, edgy, dark, or edgy, or like
but
dark humor,
you
whatever
have
is.
to recognize that if someone says they're offended by it, you have to recognize that you you should stop. You know?
Oh, definitely. Well, and yeah, and I mean, not only that, but if it's like a regular thing, you have some serious self-reflection to do. If you're just like hardcore dropping slurs like regularly,
Yeah. It's like, um,
yeah. And
um,
the fact that they equate it to just cursing, he calls it cursing. It's
yeah,
pretty funny to me.
and like you say, I feel like the guy really thinks a lot of himself because like we kind of have an edgy sense of humor. It's not really edgy. It's just like
It's immature,
it's a
really.
mature
And
humor. It's like, what's the joke in saying slurs? I'm gonna be honest. Is the joke the
yeah,
slur? Slurs have been used to like oppress major groups of people. Great.
yeah, and the fact that it's a bunch of just like as he admits, just like a bunch of white like
Yeah.
white people or whatever,
And
just
like
like dropping these
this guy
jokes.
seems like an incredibly unreliable narrator.
I
Because
agree.
like he
The
says,
way he like paints everything is
yeah, and then he says like, okay, cause my future risk over things we said when we were kids, but then you just said we fell back into the
yeah.
habit of it. So when did you fucking say it? It seems like you've always been saying it, and it's not when you were kids because you said you all go through the same friend group in college. So what's the continuity here, buddy?
Yeah, it was like a continual pattern of it. And if you keep falling back into it, that's like a serious thing you need to reflect upon. He doesn't seem to feel much guilt
Yeah,
over it.
and
But and they also said so he was like they're making fun of this guy's girlfriend, right?
yeah, because so that makes me assume that maybe
That's a
she's
whole
like
other thing
a
as
person of
well.
color or like something
Oh
like
gosh,
that.
that'd be so bad.
Because Isaac,
Oh,
imagine saying the N word in front of a black person. That's crazy.
yeah,
That's
or
a
like a baggy
crazy
friend.
thing to do.
I mean, we don't know exactly what happened, but some combination of making fun of his girlfriend and dropping slurs, hateful like hate speech and stuff.
That's a crazy
Yeah,
thing to do, and these guys seem like they're just like, you know, like if you're gonna act this way now, how are you? Like you're in college, dude. Like I
I
understand if
know.
you're in high school and like middle school and saying this stuff,
Middle school
but like,
especially,
how can you like be proud of like saying these jokes, because like I admit that like I heard this stuff a lot sort of in high school and middle school, but like
especially in
none
middle
of those
school.
people that I know are like really proud of saying those jokes. Like they just kind of like they don't bring it up. It seems like this guy in his group they like those jokes.
Yeah, very concerning. Very,
And so
yeah, I don't know.
honestly, if he did report them, it is I'm gonna say it's a bit of an overreaction to report them if he did report them, but still, come on, man.
Yeah, I would say, okay, maybe it was kind of a interesting action to take, but I also think we might be missing something.
Yeah, we're definitely missing
Well, like you
something
were saying, he's
probably.
the unreliable narrator. Also, like, I'm not really gonna okay, maybe he shouldn't have reported him, but also, like, I'm not really mad at him. I'm more mad at, like,
Yeah,
OP and
yeah,
stuff because they kinda did to themselves. Like, you don't
yeah,
like, I mean, you were
yeah. It's gonna get it's
you had to get what's it called?
and I
A punch in the face,
understand.
a little
Like,
slap.
if you want to say these jokes so bad, just say them within that friend group. Just don't say it around him if you want to do it that bad. You know, like,
Yeah, but also stop.
yeah,
Realize that, like, making those jokes at that
yeah.
point, especially if you're, like, using this language, it's
Can
just
you guess what the
you
comments
gotta
say?
run. Like, you're that. You're
You're the
the
asshole.
ass, of
Top
course.
comment. For context, he's quoting OP. For context sake, I should mention that none of us are black or gay, but we say the
Exactly.
N or F slurs pretty often. Yeah, you're the asshole. He told you to stop using racist and homophobic language, and you did it. Freedom of speech is not freedom from the consequences of the speech.
I agree. These people are like, if you can realize that you're not part of those groups and you're still making these jokes and, like, saying these 2 very offensive words, like, offensive as a words can get, literally,
Yeah. You're
and
not,
you haven't realized that you need to stop that.
yeah, you're the asshole. You're not edgy. You're immature, racists, and homophobic assholes.
Yeah, it's probably true.
Um, yeah. People are just like, jokes using slurs or made at the expense of other people are not jokes. It's just bigotry slash bullying disguised as humor. It's not funny, clever, or cool. Yeah,
Usually people realize that, like, after, like, 8th grade or whatever,
yeah.
6th grade.
Even like
But,
late high school, I'm saying, like, because like when
sure.
you get to college, what's the point of saying these types of jokes? Come on, you're growing up.
Yeah, or becoming an adult. I mean, it's these jokes have, like, actual, like, it's punching down. They have real repercussions. It's, like, real hateful language.
Yeah, and like you're definitely the asshole. And like he did not want to. Like I'm seeing today, I'm seeing a lot of people are like seeing a lot of people that are like they're posting on am I the asshole just to justify their own being right, and like they're
Mhm.
so right, they so believe they are right that they won't accept anything else, you know.
Yeah.
But then they're realizing, oh, they are not right. They are not right at all, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And
There's
so
been a
that's
lot of these.
and it seems like I can't get his account because it might be suspended. But yeah, no, this is just like crazy and like I this guy is not gonna be your friend anymore because like and I feel bad for the friend, but like come on, he needs to get better friends than these because he says like the only friends he has.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
this guy, hopefully it's good for him because like you know at least he has his girlfriend and they could like stop this horrible people because like there's one thing
That's
to say
true.
these jokes, but there's another thing to be so heinous about it. And like you gotta realize when okay, yeah, saying these slurs in public or like at least in documented group chats can fuck you over. You gotta recognize that you kind of the consequences of your actions, you know?
Yeah, you can't drop language like that and then expect everything to be normal. Those are really, it's just dumb.
Sorry, for a
And
sec
this guy yeah,
for a
the guy
sec
who reported them is, like, the only voice of reason in this
yeah.
group, it sounds like.
If he did report them, which we don't know, because I feel like
Yeah,
we're
that's
missing
true.
something from
Yeah,
the
up in the
story.
air. Yeah, unreliable narrator kinda thing because these guys are obviously immature.
For a second, I thought, Isaac, you said dropping all these bangers in the group chat, and I was like confused for a
No, what did I say? Swear words or
uh,
slurs? I probably
all
slurs.
these banger jokes, you know?
No. Banger? No, definitely not bangers. Racist
And
and homophobic.
yeah.
And serious, like, serious language.
So who was the biggest asshole of the day?
The biggest ass of the day would probably be
Is it
a
the creepy
guy,
husband?
the creepy husband, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, I'm gonna say
OP-wise?
OP. OP wise, maybe this guy, but maybe like the friend with the child.
Yeah, it's one of those last 2, I
That was the
guess.
most interesting story to me, I think, of the day.
Yeah, and that one was I
Crazy.
agree. I mean,
Definitely there's the girl who was like mean to her friend because she was fat.
she was yeah, that was pretty messed up as well.
And the racist guy from this first story.
Oh, that was pretty bad too. There was quite a few,
Monstrous
bad
assholes today.
OPs, yeah.
But
Yeah.
this has been Reddit Reader's Digest. See you next week.